We'll wait till like 9:05 and then we begin. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
That's a meeting. I'm all be good. I'm all
Everybody remain muted. Can you do mute and entry? Shewa, is that possible to have a mute on entry?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Who's saying you can? Like, that's not a question. Okay, so welcome everyone. At exactly 9:05, we're going to hit the record button. Please remain muted. Ogochukwu, if you can hear me, please mute your mic. Oshawa, you would have to do that as the co-host or the host. I don't see the host signal anywhere. Who's the host then? Okay. As the host, you have to mute everybody's mic, please. Thank you. Who else? TechnoSpark. Who is TechnoSpark? Can you please rename yourself? Who's the host? I've sent a request to record. Okay. All right, everybody, welcome to today's lesson, ECC 201, Building Language in the Early Years. You're welcome again to our first live session in the ECCD department. Let me see who is here. Okay, we have Obasonia Grace. Please, TechnoSpark, can you please rename yourself so I can know how to address you? All right, so this is part 2 of ECC 201. In this model, we'll develop our speaking skills as a foundation for literacy. As early childhood educators, we will explore practical strategies to nurture children's oral language in the Nigerian classroom. So let's get right into it. Why does speaking matter? Why does speaking matter? So we're looking at preparing them for literacy and literal conversations. We're building foundations for their reading and their writing. We're looking at cognitive development. Okay, speaking also encourages them to think aloud and also engage in language play. We're looking at social skills, which is like the big deal in today's world. We're looking at developing their confidence, their communication abilities as well, to be able to say hello and hi, maintain eye contact. All those things are very, very important in today's world. We're also looking at building their vocabulary. We want to expand their word knowledge and also their comprehension levels. Storytelling activities. This by far has been from generation to generation the quickest way to enable children to speak. I mean, we've been told stories passed down from our forefathers, our fathers' fathers, our great-great-great-grandfathers, and a lot of us are still retelling those stories today. So, as an ECCD teacher, we encourage storytelling. It's such a big deal. And how can you engage this in your classroom? We have story baskets. You can have a carton, you can have anything. It could be a blanket just filled with different things. Any way you want to go about it. It could be a bucket, depending on where you are. If you can't afford a fancy basket, it could be a bucket that is decorated. Get the children to paint over it. And you fill these baskets with objects related to folktale. Again, we're using Nigeria because I'm talking to teachers in Nigeria, so we're exploring the Nigerian context. However, if you're a teacher that is seeing this and you're not in Nigeria, you can use whatever folktale is available in your region, okay? And then children use these props to retell stories of their own. You don't necessarily need to tell them the story, okay? So let's look at this basket. If I were to give you a feather, for example, I mean, it doesn't have to be a story about a bird or any kind of chicken or anything. A child can just come up with anything. They can tell you anything and it will make sense to them. You know, anything from this basket they pick is a story of their own. It's their own imagination. It's coming alive. All right. That's the idea. It might not have a beginning, middle, or ending, but they tell it and they own that story and they can give it a title. Puppet theater. Again, this is one of another oldest form of engagement for both children and adults, in fact. Okay, adults are not exempted from puppet shows. Old socks. We find socks everywhere. One leg is missing, keep the second one. Decorate it, dip it in paint, dip it in dye, give it some eyes, cut out some nose, some lips, wear it on your hand, give it some hair. It has become something more alive that children can relate to. Okay, so create a simple sock puppet representing local characters, modern expressive voices as children take turns to perform. Picture prompt. I love this one because in as much as we have children of the same age in our class, not all of them will speak at the same time. So picture prompts are very important because while some of them can orally retell a story, create their own story, some of them might not be able to do that. So you give a picture, even if it's one word I can say relating to that picture, it is something for me. It is something for that child, okay? You give them a picture of 2 or 3 objects in that picture and they can identify one. That child is good to go, all right? So show images of familiar scenes, depending on where you are. Again, I'm going to use that for local context, depending on the region that you're in. All right. Depending on the region that you're in. And then encourage the children to build stories about what they see. Okay. So this is a simple example. Children are looking at a picture. There's a little girl with her hair in front. I could say those green things are leaves. Another child could say they're wings. Another child could say they're balloons. You know, whatever they come up with, there's no right or wrong answer. The thing is, the children are looking at it and interpreting it in their own way. That's the expression, and they're able to say something. All right. Turn-taking games. This is very important in as much as we're doing literacy. It ties into social skills. Don't forget that social emotional learning is a very big thing in today's world. Children must be able to practice this even within a subject context. Okay, so turn-taking games such as pass the teddy, the child speaks only when they're holding the teddy bear. It means the other children have to keep quiet and listen to what that child is saying. Rolling conversations, a ball is rolled across the circle to signal the next speaker. So this is not going in any particular order. If the ball touches you, it is your turn to speak. And again, the child doesn't need to know what to say. They just need to say anything. Okay, so these are speaking opportunities that are being created in the classroom. Talking stick, this was one of my favorites when I was a teacher. I had a pack of sticks with every child's name on it, you know, and when I randomly pick your stick out, it's your turn to answer the question. So there was no specialty given to people that whether knew it or not, did not know it. If your name comes up, you answer the question. So that gives opportunity for children to also pay attention, because you don't know when your name is going to be picked. Okay, traditional stick decorated with beads indicates the speaker's turn. This can be anything: lollipop sticks, ice cream sticks, matchsticks. It could be even sticks plucked from a tree, you know, and just put their names on it. 1 minute tale. Each child gets exactly 1 minute, depending on the age of a children. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 10 seconds, it could be 15 seconds, and then it could be up to a minute to share a story. Now, I'm going to say this to every teacher that is listening. These things do not come automatically. It's not magic. You have to plan it. Whether you're teaching toddlers or you're teaching infants or you're teaching, 4-year-olds, kindergartners, you have to plan these opportunities. You have to plan these opportunities. So let's take a minute to look at the different opportunities we can plan, and then we can talk about it in 10 seconds. Okay, so different speaking opportunities. I'm sure a lot of us do this. Circle time, greeting songs, news sharing in English, or even your local language. Again, depends on where you are and the language of your environment. Okay, they come in and you're going, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, and it becomes a routine. And they know that, oh, once they walk in, once I wake up, it's morning. That's another way of teaching the child the time of the day. Okay. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Something as simple as that. The simplest things matter as long as it's routine and it is planned for. So I always encourage morning circle times that are themed. Okay, so in the month of June, we know that it rains. So let's do a lot of weathery kind of circle times in the month of May and June. And December months, when festivities are happening, theme your circle time around the festivities that are happening. So that way you're teaching them other things outside of the classroom environment. You're teaching them the society at large where they're living. Activity time, role play corners, very, very important. This is child-initiated learning. When you create those corners, the children go there and they come alive. They be anything they want to be. If you put a jacket there of an engineer, they become engineers. They become firefighters. They become anything that they see on the... You'll be surprised the things they've seen on their way to school, and then they're acting it out in those corners. Okay? Sometimes it could be you also getting some information about the child being harmed or something just from allowing them be themselves. Okay, we can't always keep children seated on the chair or on a mat for the whole day and say because the timetable says this. You need to create those avenues where they can express themselves. Snack time. I love snack time. I always say this as a rule. Teachers must sit with their children when they're eating, especially the younger ones. 4 and under, adults must sit with them and engage them in guided conversation. So a child is eating. What is this called? Does it taste yummy? You're encouraging them to love food, to appreciate food, to appreciate the things that nature have given us. Oh, what did your mommy used to make that? I'm like, and they're like, I don't know. I just see chicken. Do you know where chicken comes from? Guided conversation about food, preferences, and experiences. Where else have you eaten chicken? Oh, we went to Mr. Biggs on Sunday. You know, something like that. And you're hearing other experiences they've had with chicken. Or do they now know where chicken comes? Oh, do you know that it comes from a hatched egg? It's not, oh, keep quiet, there's food in your mouth. I understand that. While I understand the keep quiet, there's food in your mouth part, you need to encourage them to love food, to know the idea of food from farm to table. Where does this thing come from? How did they make that biscuit or that cake you're eating? What tree produces the fruit you're having? Okay? And then closing circle. I love closing circle. It's like having a class meeting. As adults, we always have staff meetings and all kinds. Closing circle is like having a class meeting of how the day went. You know, they're talking about what went well, what they can do better, who behaved well, who did not, what can we do about this behavior, information they can take home as well. I like this because even though you've written in their communication book or you've communicated to the parents, you can also send them messages. It's like sending, you know, those when we're much older in the days, they used to send pigeons with letters. So they can be the pigeons that are taking the letters home orally, you know, chip the information in and see if the child even remembers. Okay, so I like closing circle. There's a lot of conversation that happens. Something you might have missed. The child will say, oh, teacher, did you know that Chipike did this? And you're like, oh, you're wondering how you missed that. You know, so they're like your eyes, little eyes and your ears at that time of the day. So in this one, we're going to discuss what speaking opportunities you're noticing in this clip.
Hello guys, so we will play a game today which we will tell our favorite color.
Please confirm that you heard the video. Confirm that you heard the sound, please.
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you.
And then after you say, for example, my favorite color is green, you make a movement and then everybody repeats the movement you make. So I can start. My favorite color is green. Yes? Golden. Golden. What movement do you want to make? You can make a movement. Oh, nice. Who's next?
My favorite color is golden.
Everybody repeats. Very good. Say it.
Pink.
And? Very good. Yes?
Pink.
What movement? Wow, who can do that? Who can try to do that? Wow, can you try to do it? Good job, guys. Very good. Who's next?
My favorite color is golden.
Golden. What movement do you want to do? Who is next?
And my favorite color is purple.
And
Alina's here.
everybody jumping. Very good.
Like this.
Let's sit down.
Okay, so I'm going to continue playing it. We have about a couple of seconds to go. Please send your answers in the chat. What speaking opportunities are you noticing in this video clip? Please send me your answers.
And who is next?
My favorite color is purple.
Purple. What do you want to do? Wow. Do you want to try to do it? Good job, guys. Wow.
Thank you all for watching. Ogochukwu, do you want to tell me what you noticed? Obasonya Grace, welcome Enifome Roots, welcome Peace, Ibekwe. So who wants to speak first? Obasonya Grace, you were the first to come. I owe you a gift. Is she still here? Oh, I think I lost her just now. Enifome, do you want to tell us what you noticed? Enifome, Ibekwe, Peace.
Yeah, good morning all.
Good morning. Welcome, Peace. For being my first speaker, you get a gift as well.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much. Okay, concerning the literacy development you're talking about.
So we're talking about speaking opportunities. Did you watch the video, the entire video?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So what speaking opportunities did you notice?
I mean, on the purpose precisely, right?
Hello, are you there?
Hello. I want to get something right before I go on because network was disturbing on my side.
Okay. So the question is, what speaking opportunities? Do you want me to play the video again? I can play it again. Do you want me to play the video again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'll play a minute of the video again. Then the question is very straightforward. What speaking opportunities are you noticing in the video? Okay, so I'll play it again for 1 minute.
Hello, guys. So we will play a game today which we will tell our favorite color. And then after you say, for example, my favorite color is green, you make a movement and then everybody repeats the movement you make. So I can start. My favorite color is green. Yes?
Golden.
Golden. What movement do you want to make? You can make a movement. Oh, nice. Who's next?
My favorite color is golden.
Everybody repeats. Very good. Say it.
Pink.
And? Very good. Yes?
Pink.
What movement? Wow, who can do that? Who can try to do that? Wow, can you try to do it? Good job, guys. Very good. Who's next?
My favorite color is golden.
Golden. What?
Okay, so I have played the video again. Do you now want to give us your answer? Ogochukwu.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, the speaking opportunity I noticed there is that the children were able to identify through the help of their instructor the type of colors they want, their favorite colors, with their demonstration on how the color, the letter representative of the color, each colors.
Good. I love that answer. Any for me? Your mic is
Yeah.
unmuted. Yes, welcome. Okay, so
Good
do you want to
morning,
tell us
madam.
good morning. How are you today?
I am good, ma'am.
Okay, so please tell us what speaking opportunities you noticed.
Okay. Children generally they love games, and the instructor introduced the game, trying to start by letting them know what she likes best. So giving them the opportunity, make them to express themselves freely. They were able to demonstrate as well. They were able to express themselves freely.
Mm.
So that's the speaking opportunity. They were free to say what they want and demonstrated.
And demonstrated. Thank you so much. Obasanya Grace, good to have you back. I lost you for a minute there. Are you with us? You want to unmute and say something? Is she here? No. Okay. So we're going to move on from the video. Okay. Now I'm going to ask questions. These are not questions you have to answer right now, but there's questions for you to think about. How do you encourage speaking in your classroom right now? I believe you're all teachers in Nigeria. So how do you encourage speaking in your classroom right now? Maybe we're going to take some of these questions because these questions are very interesting and I'd like to know your answers. Where could you add more opportunities for authentic dialogue? What culturally relevant resource supports storytelling in your setting? This one I would like to hear. How do you track speaking development in your learners? So there are 4 questions. Let's see again. Anifome, sorry, you're going to have to speak again. So Anifome, which of the questions would you like to answer? Let me leave it open. Let me create a speaking opportunity and let you be free to express yourself. So which of these questions would you like to answer for us, Anifome? Is Anifome
A
still
minute,
there?
let me go through them again.
Okay, all right. And same thing goes for peace and Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia, welcome. Chinaya, Cynthia. Cynthia, you're also going to speak. So look at the question and tell us which one you would like to answer. And Ogochuko again. Ogochuko, I like your voice, so I'm going to come back to you. These are deep questions, so you have to take your time. Don't rush it. When you're ready, just let us know. Okay, Anifem, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay.
I'm taking the third question on what culturally relevant resources support storytelling in your setting?
All right, tell us.
So I want to talk about the use of dancing.
Okay.
Okay, for example, when the instructor dances and demonstrates along, the child will be able to pick some maybe the demonstrations and be able to say something about what the teacher is doing at that particular time, like acting a drama using dancing method.
So don't
So
forget the key word here. It's culturally relevant. So are you saying they're African dances and African songs?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So you're where do you teach currently? What state?
Okay, in Anambra State.
Ooh, so you sing a lot of Igbo songs in the class. Can you sing one for us?
Okay. In the class we can take songs like Anya biawo Chineke na Anya biawe kele, as in we have come. We're just trying to make the children yes, that we are
How do I
here.
respond? If I'm the child, how do I respond?
You respond the same way.
All right. Okay.
Respond same way, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love that. I love that. I'll learn that song. You teach me later.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enifome, for participating.
Thank you, ma'am.
Peace. Where's my Chinaya? Chinaya has run and left me. Ibekwe Peace, do you want to speak to us now? Would you like to speak to us? Yes, Peace.
Yes. Yes.
So which question would you like to answer?
How to encourage
I can't hear anymore. I've lost
How
peace.
to encourage speaking in the classroom.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you encourage speaking in your classroom?
There are so many ways to encourage speaking in the classroom. You can use questioning, just like the video we watched. The facilitator used questioning. When she asks the pupils questions, she gives them patience and allow each child to answer, to say something.
Okay.
Then I think we can equally use songs, poems to encourage speaking in the classroom.
Okay. Good.
Then picture reading. You can
So give me
show
an
them.
example of something you've done in your class recently that encouraged
Okay,
speaking.
example of a song. Let me say, maybe a parts of the body. There is a song that you can use and the parts of your body, like my head, my shoulder, my knees, my toe, my head, my shoulder, my knees, my toe. As you sing, you touch each one that you mentioned, and the children watch and touch and equally mention those parts.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I said thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going to play another short video and we're going to move on to the end of this lesson.
Words, but it's not enough just to use those words. We must also provide explicit support.
You insist, said the hyena, laughing eerily. Eerily is another word for like scary.
One of the best ways you can foster children's oral language development is to provide a language-rich environment in your classroom.
A language-rich environment is just where there's a lot of talking. Children are engaged in language use and language play with each other. Teachers are moving around the room and using language, listening to children, encouraging children to talk with each other. They'll ask children to explain things that they bring in, maybe items they brought in for sharing or things that they've created. They'll give children opportunities during group time to talk about or act out something that they've done in class. They'll set up areas of their classroom that have 2 or 3 or 4 or more children.
Okay. Things that stuck out in this video. Please listen carefully. 1, a language-rich environment is one where there's a lot of talking. For every clip that was shown, the children were seated talking with the adults. No toys involved, no television involved. Human interaction. They were given opportunities to speak. Another thing they said is the teachers move around. You don't sit on your desk and expect a toddler to be looking up and be talking to you. Their neck will hurt. You have to move around. Now, I stopped here because I wanted you to see the real life objects. So I can imagine what this boy would say about this keg in front of him or the milk carton in front of that little girl. These are real things that they see in their house. So imagine if she has to speak to that milk carton. She's going to talk about how the milkman delivers milk every morning and how she uses it to drink her cereal and her oats. It will be her real life experience, not imagined. This boy will be able to pour water out of the jerry can and even fill it back up. Something he'll be able to do at home. And when we're modeling these things to them, you need to use clear speech, varied tones, expressive gestures. You need to be dramatic. You can't just be an ECCD teacher and sit down and just be saying, today we're going to talk about color blue. And that's your only pitch for the whole day, the same flat tone. It's not going to work for those children. They need drama. You have to narrate the actions. Like the way that teacher said in the first video, show me your color, tell me your color, and give us an action to it. So the next time that child goes out and does, it's blue. And the mother is wondering, why are you clapping in public? And he's saying, it's blue. But the mother doesn't get it because that's what he saw in class. He's trying to say, oh, that's the color blue because his friend clapped to blue. Okay, so let's model now. I'm going to give you guys opportunity to do this. I'm going to just give you one sentence and then we'll end this lesson. Don't forget, clear speech, varied tone, expressive gestures, narrate your actions. This is the sentence. I'm going to give us 30 seconds to look at this sentence, and I'm going to call someone to read it and model to us how this sentence should be read. Obasonya Grace said, I can encourage speaking through storytelling, asking children questions about the story, or asking the children what they can say about the story. I like that. Thank you so much for contributing. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and popped out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. That's how we should read it. Who wants to correct me? Who wants to try better than I can? Let's see who is here. Chinaya, you're back. You can't escape it this time. Chinaya, unmute your mic and read the sentence for us. Are you going to unmute your mic? Did she? I can't see her anymore. No, I think she's in and out. Okay, Ogochukwu, do you want to read the sentence for us? Your mic is on. I can hear you breathing, literally. Ogochukwu, please read the sentence for us.
Okay, thank you. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar.
Well done. I like the pop. Okay, you went with your punctuation mark. All right, Enifome, let's hear you.
Okay. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar.
I love the ending, a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. Okay, let's see who else is here. Peace, would you like to read for us? Chinaya doesn't want to talk to us. She doesn't want us to hear her voice. It's okay. Peace. Let me see. Mr. John. Mr. John, do you want to read for us? There's a man in our midst. Mr. John, would you like to read for us? Mr. John, Mr. Golden John. Please unmute your mic. Mr. John would not like to read for us. Okay, so let me read because we have another session coming up at 10. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. Okay, does anybody else want to try before we close this lesson? Okay, so we're going to end with a closing circle. Like I said, I am going to ask us for feedback. So in the chat box, could you please type one thing that you're going to do this week in your classroom? One thing from this lesson that you're going to do in your classroom. Can we type that real quick? We're typing, we're not speaking now, so I expect everybody to give me an answer. Can we do that in 1 minute, please? Are we typing? One thing that you learned from this lesson that you're going to use in your classroom.
words. But it's not enough just to use those words. We must also provide explicit support.
Right? You insist, said the hyena, laughing eerily. Eerily is another word for like scary.
One of the best ways you can foster children's oral language development is to provide a language-rich environment in your classroom.
A language-rich environment is just where there's a lot of talking. Children are engaged in language use and language play with each other. Teachers are moving around the room and using language, listening to children, encouraging children to talk with each other. They'll ask children to explain things that they bring in, maybe items they brought in for sharing or things that they've created. They'll give children opportunities during group time to talk about or act out something that they've done in class. They'll set up areas of their classroom that have 2 or 3 or 4 or more children so that there's a lot of social interaction. And the teacher should be there to scaffold their language development and bring their abilities to the next level.
One strategy for fostering a language-rich environment is using child-directed speech. When you use child-directed speech, you listen to what a child says and then respond using language that is slightly above the child's level of speaking in order to expand their language.
Mine make a lot of lines.
You're making lots of lines because you're moving it a lot of times.
When you respond to children using child-directed speech, you model more advanced vocabulary.
And if a message, she's going to introduce drama and the change of her tone while teaching. Peace finally talks to us, and she says she's going to encourage speaking by presenting real objects and pictures to her learners and give them opportunities to talk about them. I love these responses, and I hope that everybody here is going to adapt that. If that's the only thing all of us do this week, we would have achieved something. Okay, but I'm going to close with this. You have to practice. As a teacher, you have to practice what you're going to go and model to the children. Practice it with yourself. Practice it with the people around you first. Okay, so you can make adjustments when necessary and you don't go to class and then falter. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close this session. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for participating. And I'll see you all in the next class.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the class.
Thank you. I appreciate that comment.